The longtime morning television icon is pivoting in a direction no one saw coming, and her fan base has a lot to say about it. In a media landscape constantly hungry for the next big reinvention, few stars have managed the kind of seamless, decade-spanning evolution that Kelly Ripa has. For over 35 years, she has been a fixture in American living rooms, first as the spirited Haley Vaughn on the ABC daytime drama All My Children, and then, more iconically, as the co-host of Live, a role she has held since 2001. But in early 2026, Ripa dropped a bombshell career update that has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and ignited a firestorm of reactions from her devoted fanbase. The announcement, made during a special live segment on Live with Kelly and Mark on a crisp January morning, was characteristically Ripa, cheerful, self-deprecating, and laced with a hint of nervous excitement. Alongside her husband and co-host, Mark Consuelos, Ripa revealed that she would be stepping back from the daily grind of morning television, but not in the way many had speculated. She isn't retiring. She isn't moving to a streaming service or launching a podcast, though she has one. Instead, Kelly Ripa is going to Broadway. And not just as a producer or a guest star, she will be taking over the lead role in a high-stakes, limited-run revival of the classic musical Chicago. The announcement came with a pre-recorded video package showing Ripa at a dance studio in Manhattan working with a choreographer on the iconic Cell Block Tango. Dressed in a simple leotard and leg warmers, the 55-year-old looked both exhausted and exhilarated. "I've wanted to do this since I was a little girl in New Jersey," she said in the video, wiping sweat from her brow. "I know people think of me as the person who sits behind a desk and interviews movie stars, but my first love was always dance. I trained for years, and then life took a left turn, in the best way possible, but I made a promise to myself. Before I turn 60, I have to know if I could have done it, so I'm going to find out." Back in the studio, after the video faded, Consuelos squeezed her hand and looked at her with a mixture of pride and playful concern. "You are absolutely insane," he said, grinning, "and I have never loved you more." Ripa laughed, then addressed the camera directly. "Okay, let's address the elephant in the room," she began. "I am not leaving Live. Not yet, anyway. I love this show, I love this crew, and I love Mark, even when he steals my lines. But I have asked the network for a reduced schedule starting in March. I will be hosting Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Thursdays and Fridays, you're going to get a rotating cast of fantastic guest hosts. And yes, Mark will still be here to hold down the fort. And on weekends, I will be at the Ambassador Theater on West 49th Street playing Roxy Hart." The studio audience erupted. Some cheered, others gasped. A few appeared genuinely confused, as if their brains couldn't reconcile the perty, polished host of Live with the cynical, murderous vaudevillian of Chicago. But that, as Ripa would later explain in interviews, is precisely the point. "People have this idea of who I am," she told People magazine in an exclusive follow-up interview. "They think they know me because they've seen me drink coffee and talk about my kids for 20 years. But there is a whole other side of me that is hungry, ambitious, and frankly, a little dark. Roxy Hart is a liar, a cheater, a dreamer, and a survivor. She's hilarious and pathetic and fierce. I relate to her more than I should probably admit." The news didn't come out of nowhere to those paying close attention. Over the past 18 months, Ripa had been quietly taking dance and voice lessons. She had even been spotted attending Broadway shows with unusual frequency, often staying after to chat with cast members. In late 2025, she met with legendary producer Barry Weissler, who has overseen Chicago for decades. According to a source close to the production, Weissler was initially skeptical. "Barry has seen 100 celebrities try to do this," the source said. "Some work, think Usher or Pamela Anderson in Chicago on the West End. Others don't. But Kelly came in prepared. She didn't ask for special treatment, she auditioned like everyone else. She sang Funny Honey and Nowadays cold, in a rehearsal room with no microphone, and she was genuinely good. Not good for a TV host, good, period. The production has cast Ripa in a 12-week limited engagement from March through early June 2026, alongside a rotating cast of Broadway veterans. The role of Velma Kelly will be played by Tony nominee Amber Gray, and Billy Flynn will be portrayed by Hadestown alum Patrick Page. It's a serious, no-corners-cut production, and Ripa reportedly insisted on the same 8 shows a week schedule as any other performer. "I don't want people coming to see Kelly Ripa does Broadway," she said. "I want people coming to see Chicago, and oh, by the way, that's Kelly Ripa up there. If I can't do 8 shows a week, I shouldn't be doing it. I'm 55, not dead, and I've been training for this my whole life, even if I didn't know it." Within hours of the announcement, social media was flooded with reactions. The hashtag #RipaOnBroadway trended at #1 on X, formerly Twitter, and stayed there for nearly 24 hours. As with any major career pivot from a beloved celebrity, the response was divided into distinct, passionate camps. The largest contingent of fans expressed unbridled excitement. Many pointed to Ripa's background as a trained dancer before her acting career took off. Clips resurfaced online of a young Kelly Ripa performing on Dance Party USA in the 1980s, as well as a long-lost video of her doing a tap routine on Live back in 2005. At Daytime Dana wrote, "Kelly Ripa doing Cell Block Tango is the cultural reset we need in 2026. She's going to eat. People forget she's legitimately a trained dancer. This isn't a gimmick. Let her cook." At Boyway Betsy posted, "As someone who has seen every celebrity stunt cast in Chicago since 1999, I was skeptical. But after watching her interview, I'm genuinely impressed. She's not treating this like a bucket list lark. She's treating it like a job. Respect." At Mark's Mom 2026 wrote, "Kelly has given us laughter and joy for 3 decades. If she wants to go chase a dream on Broadway, we should be cheering her on. Go get 'em, Roxy." Ripa's Live's colleagues have been uniformly supportive. Executive producer Michael Gelman told Variety, "Kelly is the hardest working person I know. If anyone can do this, she can. We'll adjust the schedule. The show will be fine. And honestly, I think the time apart will make the episodes she's on even better. Absence makes the heart grow fonder." Even former co-host Regis Philbin's widow, Joy Philbin, weighed in. "Regis would have loved this," she said. "He always said Kelly had more talent than she let on. He used to say, that girl could do anything. Host, act, dance, sing. She just hasn't realized it yet. Well, now she has." In an emotional segment during the second half of the live announcement show, Ripa addressed the deeper reasons behind her career shift. Speaking more quietly than usual, she opened up about turning 55, the death of her father in 2024, and the ticking clock of midlife. "I lost my dad 2 years ago," she said, her voice catching, "and he was someone who always had a list of things he wanted to do. Someday," he'd say, "someday I'll learn to paint, someday I'll go to Italy," and then someday never came. "I looked in the mirror on my 55th birthday and I thought, what am I still saying someday to?" And the answer was this: performing on a Broadway stage, not as a guest, as a cast member. "My dad never got his someday. I don't want to be the person who dies with the music still inside me. And I know that sounds corny, and I know some people will roll their eyes, and I know there will be critics, but I don't care. I'm doing this for the 12-year-old girl who took tap and ballet and jazz and who thought maybe one day, that day is now." By the end of that speech, the live audience was in tears. Mark Consuelos was openly crying. Even the camera operators seemed misty. It was a rare moment of raw vulnerability from a woman who has built a career on effervescent resilience. What's next? The road to opening night. As of February 2026, Ripa is deep in rehearsals. She has reportedly lost 8 pounds from the grueling dance regimen. She is working with a vocal coach 5 days a week to build the stamina for Roxy, a role that sits in a tricky belt mix register. She has also been spotted at physical therapy, managing an old knee injury from her All My Children days. Her children, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, have all reportedly moved back to New York temporarily to support her. Lola, a talented singer in her own right, has been helping with vocal warm-ups. Michael, who works in production, is filming a behind-the-scenes documentary about her mother's journey.
She's terrified, Consuelos admitted to Entertainment Tonight, but that's why she's doing it. Kelly has been the most confident person in every room for 20 years. She needed something that would scare her again. And let me tell you, she is scared. But she's also the most prepared person I've ever seen. She's going to be magnificent. Beyond the fan reactions and box office numbers, Ripa's move has sparked a larger cultural conversation. In an industry that often sidelines women after 50, especially in front of the camera, here is a woman at 55 not only maintaining her daytime throne, but launching a second act that requires physical, emotional, and artistic risk. This is what women of a certain age can do when we stop apologizing for wanting more, Ripa said in a recent The Hollywood Reporter interview. "I'm not winding down, I'm winding up. I've spent decades being the reliable one, the funny one, the glue. Now, I want to be the one who falls on her face in front of 1,500 people a night, because even falling is living."
As opening night approaches, March 15, 2026, at the Ambassador Theater, the anticipation is palpable. Ticket resellers are asking upwards of $800 for orchestra seats. Pundits are placing bets on whether she'll get a standing ovation or brutal reviews. But one thing is certain, Kelly Ripa is no longer just the woman who asks celebrities about their pets and their favorite breakfast foods. She is a woman who refused to let her someday die. And whether she triumphs or struggles, her fans are watching, not just as viewers, but as witnesses to one of the most unexpected, audacious reinventions in modern entertainment history. As one fan tweeted succinctly, "I don't know if she'll be good, but I know she'll be great at being brave, and that's enough."